California Congressman Adam Schiff, a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman Schiff, we appreciate your time today. The president, as we've noted just last week, announced what would be an independent group of outside experts. As we understand now, it's going to be the DNI head, James Clapper, who's going to be forming that group. Is this the right approach? I mean, Clapper, for one, was criticized for his comments to Congress in the past.
Well, I think it's too early to tell. One thing that isn't really defined yet is what is the mission of this new board going to be. Peter, there are already 4 boards that have jurisdiction here. You have the Privacy and Civil Liberties Oversight Board. You have the President's Oversight Advisory Board. You have the President's Other Advisory Board. You have the NSA's own advisory board. So the question is, what will the mission be here? And I assume this is going to be a board comprised of very tech-heavy participants who understand the industry. They may provide useful input on the metadata program you mentioned, for example. One of the things that I've been urging for some time is that the telephone companies hold their own data, maintain their own data, and that we only query it when necessary. Having some tech people on a board to say, you know, that's technologically very feasible, we can do that, that would be more protective of the privacy of the American people, we should move in that direction. That could be useful if that's their mission, but I think these boards are going to be tripping over each other if they're not defined in what their scope will be.
Is more congressional oversight needed in this? I mean, what should it look like?
Well, certainly Congress is going to have to be heavily involved to make sure that this board is populated with the right people, that it's actually exercising an appropriate function. But probably the more important role for Congress here are going to be the things that require statutory change, such as the creation of an adversarial process within the FISA court that the President mentioned. That's probably the most significant, I think, of all the President's proposals, so that the FISA court has that benefit of a contrary view in these key cases, not the garden variety individual warrants, but when there are interpretations of Section 215, like that interpretation that led to the metadata program. That's where it's worthwhile for the court to hear another voice. I also think we may need statutory changes to determine who's appointed to the FISA court. Right now, the Chief Justice picks all those people, and I think it ought to be Senate confirmed.
We know that the Secretary of State, John Kerry, has been pressed on NSA programs during some travels he's been doing in South America. Are you concerned that these programs present a sort of long-term problem for our international interests?
They certainly do provide a lot of complications in terms of our international relations. Now, some of it is played out well below the surface because, of course, some of these partners in Europe have their own programs that they don't want to talk about, and they may feel free to protest the American programs and not talk about what their own intelligence agencies do. Some of these countries are the biggest beneficiaries of the intelligence work we do when we're able to share with them if there's a threat in Madrid or a threat in London or a threat in Berlin. So they often benefit from the intelligence work that we do. But yes, in other countries, it is certainly complicating our relations. Obviously, our relations with Russia now hitting a very low ebb. But similarly, problems in South America, Central America, and elsewhere. Those problems will be overcome, though, and I think we've had other challenges in the past that have been much greater than this.
California Representative Adam Schiff, thanks for your time today. We appreciate it.